Okay, let's talk about airplanes for a second. You ever think about how weird it is that we can just sit in a giant metal tube and fly 30,000 feet in the air? I mean, the thing's got a ton of metal, but somehow it doesn't just fall straight into the ocean. Instead, it's just chilling up there like, yeah, I got this. So, how do airplanes actually stay in the sky? And no, it's not because they're magic. Spoiler alert, it's all science. Let's break it down. So, picture this. You're on a plane and it's speeding down the runway. You're thinking, wait, this thing is about to go up. How is this happening? You're on this giant machine, probably with your head buried in your phone, not even questioning it. But here's the thing, airplanes shouldn't technically be flying. I mean, when you really think about it, the idea of something that heavy lifting off the ground is completely bonkers. But there's this thing called physics, and trust me, it's got your back. Alright, let's talk about the four forces that make this whole flying thing possible: lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Stick with me, it's not as complicated as it sounds, and I'll make it as fun as possible. I mean, you've got to at least try to keep it interesting, right? 1. The four forces of flight. First things first, let's talk about the four main forces that decide whether an airplane is going to fly, flop, or just fall into a very dramatic free fall. 1. Lift. This is the force that pushes the airplane up. Imagine it like a really strong hand, gently but firmly pushing the plane into the sky. Lift comes from the wings of the airplane. But here's the twist. Airplane wings are shaped in a way that makes air travel faster over the top of the wing than under it. This difference in speed creates lower air pressure on top and higher air pressure below. The higher pressure under the wings literally pushes the airplane up. It's like the wings are telling gravity, not today, buddy, to wait. So, you've got lift trying to push the plane up, and then you've got weight gravity trying to pull it back down. Weight is always there, like that friend who's always hanging around at the bottom of the swing, making sure you don't go too high. If you didn't have weight pulling down, the plane would just keep floating, and that's not great for landing. So, gravity's gotta do its thing, but thankfully, lift is pretty good at fighting back. 3. Thrust is what gets the airplane moving forward in the first place. It's like the accelerator on your car, but way more powerful. Thrust comes from the engines, whether they're jet engines or propellers. These engines burn fuel and send the plane speeding down the runway, pushing air back and sending the plane forward. Simple rule: no thrust, no speed, no flying. 4. Drag. This is basically air resistance, like when you're trying to ride a bike and the wind is all, yeah, not today. The faster the plane goes, the more drag there is, but airplanes are built to handle this. If they didn't have drag, they'd just keep accelerating like crazy and never stop. But drag is useful because it's the one force that wants to slow the plane down. So, that's good when it comes to landing. Alright, now that we know what forces are at play, let's break it down a bit more. 2. How does lift actually work? Let's talk about the real magic here, lift. And no, it's not just some flight school wizardry. It's all thanks to Bernoulli's principle. If you want to sound like a genius next time you're on a plane, just casually drop this name, Bernoulli. This guy figured out that when air moves faster, it creates lower pressure. So, when the wings of the airplane slice through the air, they're designed so that air moves faster over the top of the wing and slower underneath. This difference in air pressure is what gives the plane its lift. So, next time you're on a plane, just think, it's all because of Bernoulli and some super smooth wing design. It's not magic, it's just good design and some old school science. 3. What happens during takeoff? Okay, so when the plane is ready to take off, that's when all the forces really start doing their thing. The engines fire up and thrust starts pushing the airplane forward. As the plane speeds down the runway, air moves faster and faster over the wings. The wings create lift, and then whoosh up goes the plane. It's like a race car going from 0 to 60, but way, way higher. The plane's getting faster, lift is building up, and gravity's just sitting there like, I'm still here, don't forget about me. As the plane climbs higher, gravity is trying to pull it back down, but as long as the engines keep pushing forward and the wings keep creating lift, the plane will keep going higher and higher. If you've ever wondered why airplanes tilt a little as they go up, that's just the plane trying to find the sweet spot to make sure it's not fighting gravity to hard ... for. How do airplanes stay in the sky? So now that we know how an airplane gets off the ground, let's talk about how it stays up there. Well, once the plane has enough speed and lift, it reaches a point where it's basically in balance. Lift equals weight and thrust equals drag. The plane doesn't just keep climbing, it levels off at cruising altitude. It's like when you're on a treadmill and you find that comfortable pace, you're not speeding up or slowing down, you're just existing. Same thing with the airplane. It stays in the sky as long as those forces stay balanced. If you've got enough thrust and lift, gravity and drag are kept in check, you're golden. 5. Landing and descending. And then, of course, there's the landing part. After a long flight, the plane has to come back down. The engines slow down, reducing the thrust, and the pilot or autopilot gently reduces the plane's altitude by gradually decreasing lift. It's like easing into a soft landing after a roller coaster ride. Gravity does its thing and pulls the plane down, but because the plane has been gradually reducing its lift and thrust, it's not like a crash landing, thankfully. Once the wheels hit the runway, the plane has officially completed its journey from flying to firmly grounded. Wrap up. So there you have it. Airplanes stay in the sky because of 4 forces: lift, weight, thrust, and drag. All these forces work together in a kind of cosmic balance. And no, there's no secret, no magic, just solid science and some clever engineering. Next time you're sitting on a plane, remember it's all thanks to Bernoulli, a ton of metal, and a whole lot of thrust. So relax, sit back, and enjoy the ride. We've got this flight thing figured out. If you learned something today, hit that subscribe button and join the ride. Who knows, we might just explore how helicopters don't fall out of the sky next. Stay tuned on Fun with Facts, where science is always not as complicated as it sounds. Take care and see you in the next Fun with Facts videos.